everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Velvet Talks.
Hey, what's up, what's good?
So, just so you guys know, this will be a different format, obviously, as you can tell, because the title's different and everything. So, we've been talking here, and one of the things that kind of was brought up in general, just because of how our scheduling is that sometimes our Velvet Talks are a little late to the party. What that means is we record and we stack these, and sometimes it works in our favor and sometimes it super doesn't. So a big, super great example of that is anytime there's Steven Universe in the channel, all our other Velvet Talks get pushed way in the back, so then we become late to the party on a lot of different things. So we're going to try a new format, kind of like a podcast, and it would be super great if you guys could tell us how this works, because this is very new for us. So, yeah. And for right now, it's going to be me and Sora, just so you guys know. But we would hope to get Gang Mudo or Strider, or, you know, we'd love to get another person on, essentially, and do guests, and that could be fun. I'm just excited. This is a really fun idea. So,
yeah, man, try new things. It's awesome.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. So let's start this off with something that is very blatant. Obviously, in the videos, we've been kind of talking about it here and there, but everyone in the channel, to some degree, is into Overwatch.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
We have become, as I've said before on the channel, it is literally everyone else bought this game, and then a month later, me and Strider and Gang Mudo are racing to the back of the hype train, trying to reach we're running alongside the train, and we're just trying to get on board.
I am surprised that you guys are passengers on this hype train, really, honestly, because I would have never guessed that you would have any interest at all in a first-person shooter multiplayer game. You know, that just screams the opposite of what Mitchell wants out of games, honestly, to me at least.
Oh no, yes, absolutely. You are not the first person to say that to me. So, if you wouldn't mind, do you mind if I kind of explain? I know I've kind of said it before in the Persona video, but would you mind if I explain it like a little bit?
Oh, absolutely.
How this whole thing happened?
Sure.
So as some of you guys know, we record in an area that's kind of open, and that's actually changing soon. We're going to move back to a closed area so that we're not... Well, actually, this is the reason. When we record, we have people coming in and out of the house, essentially, and we have to wait sometimes for people to leave so that they don't make a lot of noise. That's changing very soon, but the point is one night Strider and I were sitting, and I had seen images of these characters of these Overwatch heroes, and I wasn't sure how I wasn't sure about any of it. It's everyone who's ever been outside of a fandom looking in knows that when you see people who are interacting with the fandom, it can be very intimidating, or very off-putting, or very weird or strange. But for some reason, this just seemed like a bunch, like the way that the fandom was like portraying these characters, that just seemed like a bunch of dorks. Like they're just a bunch of idiots. And so we were sitting there, and I was like, you know what? I hear that the cinematics for this game, this Overwatch, is great. And so Strider and I sat for 30 minutes watching like a compilation video of all the shorts that were released up to that point. And as the guys who have watched the Persona playthrough know, we couldn't get over that hype. So literally the next paycheck, I bought the game, and I cannot express how deep in this shithole I am in now. I literally play this game every day. Like, it's replaced Final Fantasy 14 for me.
Oh, wow. And that is high praise.
Like, honestly, like, Sora, you understand that level.
Oh, yeah.
So, before I go on, I would like to hear kind of because you were probably more involved in the pre-game for this.
Yes and no. So I guess my background, for those that don't know, Overwatch is made by Blizzard, right? And the reason this is so huge is that this is a company this is the guy these are the guys that put out World of Warcraft, right? So I've been kind of following Blizzard for a really long time. I've played World of Warcraft like when I was in middle school. I played StarCraft 2, like as the expansions came out. You know, I'm not a huge multiplayer guy, but single player, like way into. And then also a huge Diablo 3 guy. And just recently, like over this past year, I have gotten way down the rabbit hole with Heroes of the Storm, which is Blizzard's MOBA, which is their answer to like League of Legends and Dota 2 and that kind of stuff. But besides the point, like when they announced Overwatch and they showed that first trailer. You've seen that trailer now, right? Like the first cinematic trailer.
Oh
like,
my
where
god,
Tracer
yeah.
shows up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they dropped that at BlizzCon. This is a company that's big enough to have their own fucking convention. Like, are you kidding me? Like, come on. But they dropped that, and this is their first new IP in like 19 years. Like the last new thing they put out was StarCraft 1, back in '99, right? Like,
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. They're like big on supporting their existing franchises, right? So they were trying a new thing, and right away, like honestly, like the initial response was not tepid, but like a little concerned in that it looked like Team Fortress 2, right? Like, Team Fortress 2 is already an established, existing team-based, class-based shooter made by Valve, and it's like, all right, you're just making another one of those, like, okay, I guess, but I mean, obviously, what came out was way more than the sum of its parts, but I digress. It's just honestly, like, just from the art style and like all of the characters and the world building that they did, it's just so fantastic, and it really comes from a unique situation, in that this is a game born from the ashes of a dead, like, giant project, and that before this, Blizzard was working on this giant project called Project Titan. That was its code name, right? And this was supposed to be like sort of a follow-up to World of Warcraft. You know, like this is supposed to be an action-based MMO, and the project somehow like just didn't work out. We don't know what happened behind the scenes, but they decided to kill the project. All we know is that Overwatch, the game that we have now, is born from it comes from whatever scraps they had left, and it was like, all right, let's just descope this and make this a team-based shooter that's just a multiplayer game and that's just kind of pure fun. And so I think that's why we're seeing so much lore to this game, you know? Like any other game in the same genre wouldn't see this kind of character development, this kind of world building, this kind of art style, you know? And I feel like that's what draws so many people in to this game. Like you, like, you know, like Gang Mudo, like Strider, you know? It's awesome, and it's really cool to see. I don't know. I'm super passionate about this game. I'm so excited. I just rambled on for like 3 minutes, but whatever. God damn it, I cannot speak enough about this game. Like, it's so fucking good,
dude. Okay, so I've said on the channel before. What like my last shooter I've played on the channel was Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Back in the PS2 days.
Yeah, back in those days, I spent an entire generation not playing a shooter. I really got into this game because not only is the lore super interesting, not only is every single character just this wonderful kind of great, like, different type of character, like something that, like, every single hero is so unique and fun and a dork. Like, like everyone's dorky and it's great. But not only are all those like different factors that go into, you know, just this great game, and we'll get to gameplay here in a second, but the fandom, in my opinion, as far as I've seen so far, is one of the most fun, just great fandoms I think I've been in a long time. So
honestly, it's so good to see all this fan art, like all this Dad 76 fan art, and like the Gremlin Diva. Like it's hilarious. And that's not even to say like the series fan art, you know, like the pharmacy stuff. Like I never thought I'd be shipping two first person shooter characters together. Like I didn't think that would happen, but you know.
Oh,
Blizzard managed to do it.
Oh.
Well, the fan base, of course, but still, like, oh my god.
Sora. No. You're forgetting you're talking to Tumblr man. I have genuinely enjoyed my experience with this fandom, and I will express it in this way. Coming from let me put it this way, the last big super fandom that I've been part of, actively still part of, I should say, is Steven Universe. That fandom is not for everyone, and for very interesting reasons. Which could be a whole nother topic, a whole nother day, but let's get into Overwatch. So
Sure.
This fandom just seems like you see people who are just in the same boat as me, who this isn't their game genre, but because the world is so great, they feel inspired and they draw art, or they create ships, or they find ways to express themselves in this game, and then that draws more people in. And it's so weird because I never go onto it and I see some shit post or something that, well, I see shit posts, but I guess maybe more I don't see negative shit posts. There's not a lot of negativity in this game. For a game where first person shooters to me have always been I always used to view them where I always see the worst. It's always those people that rage and just get upset.
Sure.
And I mean, obviously that's every genre of gaming, but for some, for a lot of people, that's kind of synonymous. That's the word I'm thinking of.
Sure.
And I just don't see it with this. I'll be in a round and we could be 99% of the way and we lose. And all I can think to myself is, you know what? We did a good job. Everyone tried their best. I am not upset. I am just I mean, to an extent I am, but it feels like
not the end of the world.
Exactly. And then I'm oh, there's always next round.
Sure.
It feels very healthy.
It's really interesting because I think now's the point where we need to address where we're playing right now. So right now I'm currently playing Overwatch on the PC version. I'm playing through Battle.net, and you're playing on the PS4 version, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to me that you say that there's not much negativity with this game, and I agree with you. Comparatively, absolutely. And you're kind of exposed to this fan base through Tumblr, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So if anybody's been paying attention to the previous Velvet Talks or Velvet Rooms that I've been on, that I'm more of a Redditor on that sort of end, right? So my main exposure to this community is through the Overwatch subreddit on Reddit. And that's not to say that it's totally cancerous or anything, but there is some negativity there, right? Which would you get with any competitive game, in that people kind of get unhappy with not necessarily hero bounce, but it's where people get more into more serious discussions okay, if you're gonna yell at me for not people are upset with people for not playing a support or a tank or something like that. You get into more of these posts that are come on guys, I need a mercy, or I need somebody to play Reinhardt or something like that. That's not to say I mean, you look at Call of Duty and people get way more vicious with that kind of stuff, but I mean, I still see some negativity in Overwatch, both in the game and out of. But honestly, I think the community is really awesome, and I think this is one of those rare kind of games that has a dedicated enough, not only player base, but also community base, and that will have fan art and lore discussions along with game and balance discussions. I think that's a really rare and really cool thing. It's so into it, honestly. It's
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but it bothered me a little. Okay, so I understand the idea oh, we need a mercy, or oh, we need a support, oh, we need Reinhardt, we need a tank. But isn't it common courtesy to just oh, if you guys need something, well, I'm not the best Lucio, but I'll be Lucio. Or but isn't it kind of a common courtesy thing where it's if you haven't picked your character already, you just kind of default to something that you're okay with? I don't.
How do you mean?
Okay,
in a situation?
Okay. Let me put it this way. As it's been stated before, I am super new to this genre of gaming.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Yeah.
And I was really, really nervous to enter into this, but I loved the world so much that I wanted to check it out. And for me, at least, and from what I understand, so also what Strider thinks, and essentially what Gang Mudo thinks, and kind of this collective, like, because we talk, when we're on a team, whenever there's like we need a sniper, well, I'm not the best Hanzo, but I'll be Hanzo. Or like, I always felt
Sure.
like it's like one of those things where it's like, just do it though. Like,
Just try to break out of your comfort zone, you mean?
yeah, because I one of the things about the game that I really love is that all the characters feel like unique and fun, and
Oh yeah.
you can, like, I've at this point in time I've played all the characters at least once on an online match, and at first I was really nervous about it because I'm one of those people that if I don't like it stems from Final Fantasy 14. If I'm not doing my job, I feel like a piece of shit.
Sure. Oh no, I totally agree with you. I I do think there's just a common currency there. It's not as prevalent in the lower levels, you know. I mean, like I remember, so I got into the last beta weekend, right? So like they had an open beta weekend where they invited, like, this is the most invites they ever sent out. Like I opted for like the beta invite program or whatever. That was only PC. So during that time, it was everybody was just trying to play the hero that they saw and wanted to play, and myself included. All I played, most of what I played that weekend was Diva, because that's who I saw on like through trailers and stuff. Like, okay, I need to play her. That's all I played. But you know, as I've been playing more, like usually, like you know, you'll like log into a game, and then like the like two or three people will like you know pick their heroes, and it's like, okay, we got like a soldier, a Junkrat, and like a Reinhardt. Like, well, we have a Reinhardt, so I'm guessing we're gonna go Mercy because Reinhardt and Mercy are a pretty good combo. So that's what I'll go. Like I'm seeing that more often. And that's not even to say about this is very recently actually, and I think the console version just got this too. But very recently, Blizzard introduced competitive mode, right? So
Yes.
now we have two different modes: quick play and competitive mode. Yeah. So up until then, quick play was just the only thing that you could play in besides Brawl, of course. But we had this weird dichotomy of players that just wanted to play for fun and just wanted to play the hero that they wanted to play, which is perfectly valid, right? Like you have your favorites, you're gonna want to play them when you log on to Overwatch, right? But you also had these players that wanted to win. So in order to win, you have to have like a a certain kind of composition for your team. So like you need like a tank, you need a healer, you need like some sort of like zoner kind of person. And that's what competitive mode's for, right? So like nowadays, I'll log into Overwatch and just like if my friends are playing or something like that, and we just want to shoot the shit while we play. Like I'll just log on to I'll just play a quick match and like like I'll play Diva or like I'll play Tracer because I feel like having fun, like just fuck around. It's not a huge deal, like low stakes. But if you feel like being a tryhard and want to like, all right, I want to see how good I am at this game, you try I'm sorry, not quick play, competitive play, and and try your chops there. There's some issues there, but honestly, I think the game's way healthier for having two different competitive modes, because now I've noticed that people in quick play are way less toxic in that people aren't going to shit on you for not playing the hero that they want you to play, right? But now in competitive mode, like you're kind of more, it more behooves you to be like, hey, listen, we need a tank. Like, is anybody good at Reinhardt or Winston? Can you try to switch to them? And then people are way more cooperative and like, yeah, sure, like I got a Winston, I'll play him. It's good. I think it's better for the game. Like competitive still has its issues to work out, but yeah. At least see, this is the thing, is that I only experienced this with console, or no, sorry, not console, with PC, where people are more. I feel like just because you have a keyboard in front of you, you're more likely to like type out like a hey, like either it's either talks and be like, hey, fuck you for not picking Mercy, or like, hey, like we need a healer. Like people are way more quick to send stuff to other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Like,
on console we do have a wheel of things that like we can say, and
oh yeah. Like need healing and like group up with me and here's my ultimate status, right?
yeah.
Yeah. We have that on PC too, but like still like just like a chat to be like type.
Oh, I don't. I haven't even tried to plug in my keyboard for that. Like
I gotcha.
oh,
It is really just like a pretty different game, which is awesome because Blizzard's treating it like that, right? Like what's really cool is that Blizzard is like, okay, hey, we're balancing the PC versions and the console versions totally separately.
oh yeah, you
which
can
to me
ask
is
all the
really, really cool.
Torbjorns all about that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really interested to see to hear your opinion on Torbjorn through a console player's eyes, really.
As someone who plays Torbjorn,
Oh man,
no,
some confessions here.
honestly, I've gotten pretty okay with most of the characters, but Torbjorn is like when I'm on the defense or when I'm on or defend, I should say. I love playing him because I feel like I'm contributing more that way. And when the nerf happened, I wasn't that upset about it, to be honest with you. And
Right.
I think it's mainly because I understood the problem because I've played other heroes who had to deal with it. On console, what happens is, and this is the really shitty way of putting it, but because of the way the controllers are and because of how the camera does the tracking and stuff, I've watched, I haven't experienced it obviously, but I've watched videos where they're like, hey guys, this is the new Overwatch stuff, and it's clearly on PC because the camera's moving frantically as fuck. And then,
Yes. It's just a controller thing. Like it's just a difference in controllers, you know.
oh yeah, and let me put it this way. You're walking into an area, and all of a sudden you're getting hit with something, and it's hitting you really rapidly. You turn your head a little bit to the side, but because of the way the controller is, it's not moving fast enough, so you take another 2 hits. So
Yeah.
by the time you actually see the turret and are trying, and your brain's processing how to respond to it, you're already like 25 to maybe 50% done. Like it was really bad before the nerf because essentially
Right.
what happened is whoever's leading the group, you just get fucked. Like it was an immediate thing, and that's just how you knew that there was a turret. And the worst part was on PC. I've seen it a couple times in videos on YouTube where it's like, oh, everyone's Torbjorn, let's do it. On consoles, that was horrible.
Yeah.
That was literally hell.
I mean, I get pissed off at Torbjorns, and I have a mouse to aim at him. You know, like, and I want to be clear. Like, I'm not trying to say like, oh, like buy Overwatch on PC. Like, just buy this fucking game. Like, however you can. Like,
Yeah.
If you know, like console, PC, it doesn't matter. Like, just buy it and play it. And enjoy
I'm
it.
so happy there's a console version because otherwise I don't think I would have bought in the game. Not because I mean for those of you who don't know on the channel, I'm not that big of a PC gamer.
Right.
I'm trying my best, but
Totally. I absolutely think this is the best case scenario in that like A, we have both console and PC, and B, Blizzard's like acknowledging the differences in the platforms and adjusting the balance accordingly, right? So you like on console, like up until very well, I don't know if the balance patch is hit yet, but like you know, Torbjorn is a menace, right? With his auto aim and shit, like with his auto aim turret. Like on PC, I don't want to say she's broken, but Widowmaker is an absolute fiend right now. You know?
That's the thing that kind of gets me on console. I've seen some really, really good Widowmakers, but like it does
really?
not compare to the videos where I'm watching the PC Widowmakers.
Oh my god.
And I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, oh my god, a mouse would make that so much easier.
It would. It's
Oh
just
my
the difference
God.
in nature of the controllers. Exactly. Yeah.
Like I didn't like it took me a minute to understand exactly like, wow, that's a lot of headshots. Okay.
Right.
Like to the point where it's like because I know you have a PC and I'm working my way to get like a cool like gaming PC. Because I think that'd be really fun. I want to get Overwatch on the PC just so I can also play with a couple of my other like different friends, but also because I want to experience like, man, maybe my mains would change on the PC.
Honestly, I think they absolutely would.
Like because right now we might as well talk about our mains. That's a good way to
Oh
transition.
yeah. Oh yeah. Good transition. Sure.
So the Overwatch video, to date this video a bit, the Overwatch video we uploaded today was made about, I want to say 2 weeks ago, just about 2 weeks ago when I first bought the game.
Okay.
So I was probably like only a few days into the game at that point. At the time, my mains were Tracer, Diva, Lucio, and for defense hero, I want to say Hanzo.
Okay.
Now that it's been about a few weeks since then, tank wise, I'm still Diva. Attacker wise, I'm bordering Pharah and Reaper.
Okay.
They're all like all the attack DPS characters. I'm actually like kind of okay with.
Sure.
Defense wise, honestly, Torbjorn. Like it's like I know that that's kind of shitty to say, but like I love the idea of setting something up and then just going out in the battlefield and just shotgunning people and knowing and when you die, it's okay because you still have something, you know. Like
yeah. It's interesting because the only reason I haven't played that much Torbjorn is because Torbjorn is probably the closest carbon copy character to a class from Team Fortress 2, which is a game you haven't played yet, right?
Oh, I've never touched it yet.
Right. So, like, Torbjorn is, like, almost exactly like carbon copy from the Engineer from Team Fortress 2. So I played a shitload of Engineer from Team Fortress 2. So, like, once I came into Overwatch, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try someone else besides Torbjorn, you know? That's the only reason I haven't played that much of him yet, you know, just because like it's like, all right, that's the one hero that I already sort of know how he works. If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You want to experience the new stuff. Like I cannot like Strider. I kind of wish she was here because she played TF2 a lot in college. Like she was the head of a TF2 club in college.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
And when I was first showing her Overwatch, she was looking through the list of characters and was like, "Oh, this character's this character's that," and she was asking me why I really liked Tracer.
Sure.
And I was like, because time mechanics are really fun.
Yeah.
Because rewinding to a previous state of health is a great mechanic, and if you
the rewind is so cool.
Oh my god! Like that is it's really
so
creative idea. And the idea of how she speeds up, like she's not just like Sonic the Hedgehog, she's literally moving the cells in her body faster through stupid blinks in time. It's so stupid and great. And I mean, like, even though Tracer, like, I wish I was better with Tracer, honestly. I honest to God wish I was better with Tracer, but like
I think she's a little stronger on PC. I don't know, whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, but like lately, I've been doing like rounds with Reaper. So what's going on is like I'm sneaking. Like I'm still doing the same stupid shitty thing with Tracer, where I'm sneaking behind enemies and trying to shoot them in the back. But now,
oh my god, yes, you're better than like 90% of Reaper players in my experience.
And now,
that like. You know how to sneak. Oh, yes.
like now what I'm doing is literally going behind and I'm like, I've got you in my sight. not even his line.
Not even the right hero, but I don't give a shit.
like I'm saying it out loud with my stupid shotgun.
Can we just talk about how much of a dork Reaper is? Like, his
God.
line is like, whenever he uses his teleport, he's like, repositioning. And I'm like, are you shitting me? Are you going to use a pun while you're going to fucking teleport?
No,
like,
I think
dude.
my favorite is all the lines you can buy for him. Is just one of them just like, I'm back in black.
He definitely has the best hello emote out of all of the heroes. He's just, hi.
Like, okay. Like, I think Reaper is just like, because I like on the console you have no choice, you have to buy the Origins edition.
Yes.
And I think my favorite, because I'm not gonna lie, first day in, I was so ready to play. When it finally finished downloading and I finally had the chance to just mess around with the characters in the range, it's like, to change your costumes, go to Heroes Gallery. So I went to Heroes Gallery and. I'm like, wow, Reaper looks so cool. He's like middle school Mitchell would love him. And then I go through the list. It's like, what is his Black Watch raise? And I went down and I'm like, oh, he's just a dude. He's just just a dad. Oh my god, like he's such a fucking dork. But like, dude, there's something so satisfying sneaking behind. Like with Tracer, it's like mid-range, like close range to mid-range shooting, but like there's something so satisfying getting like 2 shotgun blasts into someone.
Oh yeah.
And like absorbing their soul for health. Like, it's
And honestly, I think if there's one thing this game does right, it makes you feel powerful, no matter who you play, right? Like if you do well with your hero, like you're like in like any hero, you can just be like it just makes you feel like a fucking badass, dude. Like holy shit. Oh man, I mean, goddamn.
Let me put it this way, Sora. What did it feel the first time you got play of the game?
Oh my god, dude. That was so fucking hype. Oh my god. I was playing Diva. Like, I have a specific story. That's how memorable this game is. Like, it's so good at creating memories in that my first play of the game, I was playing in the beta weekend. Like, this was like the last closed beta weekend before they did the whole open beta for consoles and PC. I was playing with 3 of my friends, and I was playing Diva. And I got a nuke off, and that was right when I first figured out that you can nuke and do well. You could use your rockets and nuke at the same time. So I shot my rockets off. I popped off my nuke right on top of a payload. I think it was at Hollywood, and just like made it. This is like my move now. Is like I just aim straight up. Shoot the rockets and aim and pop off the nuke, so like it just goes up straight in the air and nuked, and I team wiped them. I got 4 kills, I think, and I was like, oh my god, holy shit, that was like the most fun I've ever had. Like, oh, I had the fucking correct I got the new highlight intro like a few games before where she pops out of the mech. Oh shit, dude, it was awesome. It was so good. It was. God damn, I love this game. That was before the game even came out, you know?
Oh my god. Like, for me it was I love Tracer so much. I cannot express how stupid this was. It's in Kings Row, right?
Okay.
And it's the first time cards on the table, I was reading a lot of guides and stuff and watching videos, and it's like one of the things that they had suggested was, hey, Tracer's really good at sneaking behind the enemy. So I'm like, all right, I'll give that a shot. So they're all scattered throughout, right? Some of them are on the payload, some of them are like, yucking up trying to kill our guys. So I'm like, all right. And just one after another, Sora, sneaking up behind people and just shooting them, and I started to really get into it. And I throw a bomb onto a Roadhog, and I just got play of the game, and it was the coolest fucking feeling in the world. And I know that sounds like with your story, it's like you did something super great, you did this giant thing, and with mine, It's just more like I don't want to say it's a kind of like it's less, but it's like from that one experience I learned how to do a shit ton of stupid shit. Like one time, I feel like a lot of play of the games are like when the people are on payloads. Like one time I was standing on top of a bridge as Reaper, and I just jumped down and hit triangle, which is the ultimate in our game, and just I got team killed. And it was that moment of like, yes. And I cannot tell you that has also happened to Jason, who was a part of Scrub Club, who also mains Reaper. Like he's done that a couple times now, and like
sure
play of the game. And here's the thing, I've had a bad play of the game before.
Oh yeah? Yeah. I think I've had a few.
my personal worst was I was Torbjorn, and the turret's going off, and I am working my way back to the objective that I play the game, and it's the dramatic music plays as Torbjorn
classic.
is just
and you're just
running.
Walking back from spawn.
He's just I think it's not only that, but I'm also like picking up a health pack, and like it felt bad. I felt horrible. like I had like this gross feeling of like oh god. Oh no, like there's people who actually worked their asses off to get play of the game.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there was a recent trend of Torbjorn play the games where, like, I would see this posted on Reddit where it would just be a Torbjorn play the game where he doesn't even try. He just literally he just faces a wall and slams the wall while spraying the well played spray on the wall, just slapping the wall.
Jesus. God.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's the thing. So I really hope Blizzard kind of fixes that in a way where it's like if I would really, I know it sounds kind of weird as a Torbjorn player, because I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know. I always
Torbjorn. Yeah, sure.
I've heard some pretty great creative ways of saying his name, but I as a Torbjorn player, I think it would be really great if you do not count the turret kills towards the play of the game.
Interesting.
The reason behind that is because I feel like play of the game should be things like, you know, like someone who launches their ultimate and does something really cool. Like, play of the game should make you feel like, wow, look at that player who did something really cool. And as someone who was trying to learn this type of game, I picked up a lot from watching the play of the games. Like, look at how that Tracer snuck up from behind and just right behind the Reinhardt and got the Mercy, the Reinhardt, the Genji. Like, that was crazy. Or, hey, look, that there's a Reaper over there who activated his special right behind a Bastion. Or, hey, look, Justice rains from above on an enemy base. Like as someone who was new to the genre, I cannot express enough how disheartening it is to see Torbjorn when it's just like the turret's going off and he's off somewhere else. And I know that may to other Torbjorns out there that may sound really shitty, but I think that part of the best part about play of the game is just like after, especially if you lose or if you win, watching just how great the game was. Like, play of the game tells you essentially just how awesome the game was that you were just in. So
I don't know. I'm right there with you on the play of the game. Like, I've definitely been there where I've, you know, like it's the same thing with the Torbjorn stuff. Like when like Bastion gets played the game, like I've been right there where I like snarkily like type in like, oh man, like watch this Bastion, like hold down the left mouse button and just like mow down three dudes.
Can I just say something real quick about Bastion?
Go for it. Yeah.
I had heard before playing the game, like, oh, new players they just hate Bastion. There is nothing that people hate more than Bastion. And I'm like, he can't be that bad, can he? And the first time I ever encountered him, I blinked into a hallway and within seconds got killed. And they show me what killed me, and I thought it was like Torbjorn's turret at first. And it's just a character who turns into a goddamn turret. Into a Gatling gun. I couldn't believe it. So
yeah.
I feel like for new players, obviously he has some problems, but I cannot tell you how easy it is to kill Bastion.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I have some problems with Bastion in that like I don't really know how well designed he like I don't want to shit on this like Bastion I have problems with in that he's really hard against new players that are sort of learning the heroes and the maps, right? Like, I think learning the maps is, like, the easiest thing to get around with Bastion, right? Well, once you know the maps, you can get around Bastion.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the only reason I'm able to get Reaper right behind him.
And, like, that's fine, but he's also, like, not super viable at, like, higher levels of play. Like, I don't really see Bastions anymore. And if I do, it's just like, okay, I'll just go BNG and press the E button, the reflect button, and you're dead, you know?
I got a funny story.
Yeah?
So within the first 15 levels, I had heard about switching characters to counter. And we were running into some Bastions early on, and so I was like, I'm gonna be Naruto. I'm gonna be super cool ninja man. And I run up towards one of the Bastions, and I hit he starts shooting, and I immediately hit the deflect button, and then he stops firing. And I'm like, oh, you can do that. And then after the deflect was over, he just mowed me down.
Right.
Like, it, oh. Sora.
Yeah.
Like, I look at how giddy and happy we are talking about
It is totally
like these
it's
characters
so
and like
there's it's just a perfect storm of like great art direction, like fun gameplay, and like really, really smart design decisions. Like back to the play of the game kind of thing. Like it's one of those ideas that I am shocked didn't make it into another game previously. Like there might have been a smaller game, but I'm not aware of it. You feel free to correct me in the comments if you know of a game that did it. But
did you not play Battleborn?
oh, oh,
I actually have no idea if that's true.
I love Borderlands, which is made by the same company as Battleborn. I haven't played Battleborn. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gearbox. I just make Borderlands 3 and I'll play that. Okay. Okay. All right. Anyways, continuing on. With the play of the game thing, like it does such a good job. Like there's some kinks to work out, right? Like they can definitely tweak it a little bit, to like highlight more, like to like maybe give a little more credit to like maybe your supports or like maybe your tanks, like if you see like a play of the game where Reinhardt like just tanks a shitload of damage and then just fucking slaps his hammer and kills two people, that would be a play of the game for me. Not just like, Bastion holding down the left click button, like the holding down the fire button, or Torbjorn staring at a wall while his turret kit kills, There's definitely some kinks to work out. It's a hard programming issue from a technical perspective, but it'd be cool. But the game does such a good job of highlighting your achievements while also like kind of not sweeping under the rug, but like putting less focus on your deficits. In that, like, oh, like you'll play like Mercy and be like, man, like I got a gold medal for doing the most damage on my team, and I got a voting card for like getting like 10 resurrections, like that's a good job. Like maybe you got killed like a handful of times, or like maybe you didn't do that much damage, but you still were an asset to the team, and the game is really good at highlighting you as an asset to the team. It makes you feel good, and you're like, fuck, like I'm good as Mercy, I'm gonna play more as Mercy, you know what I mean? Like most games, like you look at Overwatch's competitors, like you look at like Call of Duty or like Team Fortress 2, like they've kind of went the way of like shoving every single metric into your face, and that like you play a new Call of Duty and you're like, all right, this is your kill death ratio. Like you look at you hold down like the scoreboard button and you see that you're like, oh, you're at a 0.5 KD, like God, like you gotta keep going, like it kind of gives you the sense of stress, like, oh shit, like I'm not playing well, and then you'll start blaming yourself or you're blaming your team or whatever. And that's not to say it doesn't happen in Overwatch, but Overwatch is like, dude, like nice, you got like you have like 10 objective kills, like you're helping out with the objective, like dude, like keep doing what you're doing. It focuses less on the negative and more on the positive, and I think that's a really good idea, honestly. Like there's just tiny little things like that, like where it doesn't show like how many kills you got, it shows how many eliminations, meaning how many kills you participated on,
That is the best part, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Because
right?
like it's exactly what you're saying. It incentivizes you to keep playing because hey, you're doing a good job. Whether like I can't tell you how many times it's like, oh, I got maybe one bullet on that guy, but it's counting as an elimination. Sure, and then I just keep going.
Right. Or like, you're Lucio, or like, well, I guess more, again, I keep harping back to Mercy, but like, you were healing some guy as Mercy and they got a kill. Like, well, you still helped out because you probably saved that dude's life because he ran in by himself and you were healing him,
Kill assists, yo.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that the game weights kill assists and actual kills in almost the same weight is like kind of a testament to kind of Blizzard's objective with this game. It's trying to make everybody feel as good as they possibly can while playing a competitive shooter. A shooter, like a genre that's known for like being pretty, not toxic, but just kind of like really competitive and kind of negative, Like you go to other shooters, you go to CS:GO, you go to Call of Duty, you'll see way more negativity there because that game is just built differently, It's a more competitive atmosphere, right?
I will say one kind of shitty thing I ran into with Overwatch.
I mean, sure, go ahead.
In terms of like the competitive scene, there was maybe like one time things weren't quite the best.
Sure.
the community's great. Don't get me wrong, but like there was like this one time I went online and like maybe we weren't doing so hot, and I have my party chat mostly off when I play these games. Mainly because during the first couple weeks, the first couple days, it just didn't seem necessary. No one on consoles talked to each other, apparently. So I just kind of turned it off. So one time I decided to turn it back on, and a couple matches in, I kind of ran into a problem where like this one person was just being like super negative on the team. It was the first time I've ever encountered anything like that. So immediately turns party chat back off. Like I couldn't. Like I don't know. Like when I play Overwatch, it's mainly because I'm like it's something quick and fun I can do, and it's a game I just really am enjoying right now. And I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's okay to get like impassioned for this game, but not to the point of just being kind of negative for negative's sake. Like you're not really I mean, being helpful that way.
It is really a tough problem to solve, right? Because I feel like I've been exposed to this more, especially in the past year. As I previously mentioned, I play Here's the Storm a lot, and that is a MOBA, right? So these kind of games have a huge reputation for having a hugely toxic fan base. You hear the word toxic being thrown around a lot, where like it's hard when you're losing and when you feel like you're doing well and your team is letting you down. It's hard to get out of the mentality of like, God fucking damn it, like if only this soldier knew what he was doing, like we'd be able to push and win. Or like, what the fuck is this Reinhardt doing? Like he's just, charging in and dying by himself. I can't heal him. I can't do anything, right? It's when you're starting to lose a game and you don't feel like it's your own fault, and that happens pretty often. It's hard to kind of be, level-headed with this kind of stuff. And, you'll get a lot of toxic people. You get a lot of people that are kind of really, bad behavior. It's one of those things where you just kind of have to shake it off. It's real shitty. And, I mean, this game, I don't want to be like that guy, but, like, these kind of games attract a lot of younger players who have a bit more trouble, like, handling their emotions a bit and, like, kind of realizing, like, hey, man, like, it's just a game. Like, don't sweat it too hard. You'll get people like that all the time, like tryhards and stuff. And it goes back to what I said, like with the competitive mode, like at least those people who are really wanting to win will be in a game with other people that really want to win
with
at this
other
point.
people who have the same mindset.
Right. That's not to say like competitive is like a toxic shithole. It's not, but like now. I know. When people like bust your chops about like that kind of stuff, just say like, dude, like it's quick play, like, don't worry about it. Like it's okay. Like just it'll be all right. You can leave the game and find a new team.
That's another thing that's super great about the game.
It's okay.
That's another super great thing about the game. Honestly, is the fact that like I can't tell you how many times I've been part of a party or something where maybe I just wasn't feeling it. Like there's some parties where like because most of the time I'm in quick play, sometimes I'm feeling a party and sometimes I'm not. Like there's sometimes I'm in a party where it's like, okay, everyone got their bases covered. All right, rock and roll, let's do this, and we do pretty okay. And then there's sometimes where it's like, oh, everyone wanted to be Hanzo. All right, well, I'm not feeling that, but I'll do the round with you guys.
Oh my god!
And in those rounds, I like the minute that round ends, I'm like, you know what? It was nice. It was an experience, but I think I'm out. So,
I think I'm done. I think I'm checking out.
So I literally just leave and I start another party. And I think that's probably the best part about the game, where it's like coming from FF14 especially. I've had to wait like 30 minutes to an hour sometimes waiting for queues in FF14.
Oh, in FF14. I'm sorry. I thought you were like,
whoa,
what?
I cannot express enough. Like, okay, like Sora, especially when you get to the end level stuff and you do not have like a party. Like most of the end level stuff, it's like, hey, you want to do this? Well, guess what? Most players in the game who are level 60 are either in roulettes or stuff, and they don't want to do this because it's hard.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
And so
the higher you go, the more serious it is, the more salty people get.
It's actually kind of shitty, and it's the reason why I haven't been on FF for a little bit here.
Sure.
And so like I cannot tell you how refreshing it is to be like, hey, I just want to play a quick round of Overwatch before I go to bed. I don't, and like, because in FF it's like, oh, I'm gonna wait 10 minutes to get into a 30 or 20-minute dungeon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just I feel like because it's so casual, it just feels great. Also,
Definitely.
Guys, just so you know, we still have other things we have to talk about.
Oh, do we? Do we have to talk about other things? Because all I want to talk about is Overwatch.
I know, but like at the same time, it's like I think we're almost like 40 minutes into this.
Dude, my timer's reading at a solid 50 minutes right now, and I can keep going for another hour.
I know it's great. But how about this?
Okay.
Because there just feels like there's a lot to talk about, and I'm sure that for those who were not interested in Overwatch, they probably have checked out.
They probably quit it, but yeah, they checked out. Either by the thumbnail or by the 5-minute mark.
It's just a giant picture of Tracer covering up the other things we have to talk about. Like, I know we have other stuff to talk about, but you know what we could do is we could wait to get some of the other members of the Velvet Room because they also love Overwatch.
Yes,
And I feel that like what we can do is probably next time we do Velvet Talks, we can get their opinions on it because hey, Gangmuno and Strider both love the game and they both love different characters. And
yeah, we should talk about the lore more because that's one kind of subject we didn't really touch on that much. So definitely for sure.
So tell you what, guys, next episode what we'll do is we'll put the Overwatch talk at the very end, so that we
all right, that's fair. That's fair.
Oh my god, I cannot believe how in like we're both really into this, and and anyone who knows the channel, we can talk about this shit forever. But how about this? We're gonna instead move on to a different subject.
Sure.
And maybe we'll come back to it. Who knows? So the first thing I wanted to talk about real quick, because I think it's kind of interesting, that's not Overwatch, is Sora and I are super into Steven Universe.
Yeah, you might have noticed.
You may have noticed because we kind of took over the Steven Talks while Gangmuno was away in Japan. So, cards on the table, I don't know when this is coming out. Like, I do not know when this particular episode of Velvet Talks is coming out. But it should be relatively soon.
Okay.
So it's soon enough that we can talk about something that Cartoon Network decided to do.
Oh boy, those little scamps over at Cartoon Network.
So let's before I tell you guys, let's kind of review what happened in the last year or so. In the last year, we've had I think 2 or 3 Steven bombs. I want to say 3 because we had roughly that, and
I've been up to date for 2, so I don't know. So.
In the fall, they just had a weekly release. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay, got it.
And so we've kind of had a bit of a scattered release schedule. Like, let me put it this way. In the fall, we had some stuff. Then we had a little bit of hiatus. Then in January, we had some stuff. And then we had a 6-month hiatus.
Holy shit.
Or a 5-month hiatus. And then we went in May, and we had the weekly episodes again. And then in Europe, they got the episodes in giant chunks. So obviously, there was leaks. So in terms of the fandom, we've been through a couple dry spells here, and it actually, what's funny is you can actually kind of tell based on if you're, at least for me, when I'm on Tumblr, you can tell because some of those SU blogs start really reaching for stuff, and I think that's probably the best moments.
Dude, I will say on the subreddit, the Steven Universe subreddit, the shit posting gets real. Shout out to any subredditors out there for the Steven Universe. Holy shit.
God damn.
The shit posting on the hiatus gets real.
I think my favorite is just how they try to keep organized on the Tumblr. They're here's a day specifically for this ship or this pairing or this character.
Oh, nice.
And honestly, I think that's my favorite part. But anyways, so all that build up and all that aside, so if you remember correctly, in the last Velvet Talk we did about Steven Universe, we discussed the idea that, hey, what are our predictions? What do we think is going to happen? And most importantly, because I'm not sure if Gangmuno's episode's going to come out before this, because she recorded an episode, guys, I promise. We also discussed the possibilities that were hey, when do you think it's going to come back out? And I remember saying it's going to come out probably in September. So I was wrong. I was very blatantly wrong. To anyone who already knows, this is probably the biggest shock that any of us have ever... And personally, this is the biggest shock in a fandom I've been a part of in a very long time. Cartoon Network has decided to release all these season 3 episodes in a month's time. So
Yeah, I'm looking at the episode schedule right now, and I'm in awe.
I cannot process this because it seems it's almost like a giant practical joke. I am expecting the first episode that comes out on June 18th to just be an Uncle Grandpa episode. Like, that's how bad this is.
My God,
It's not. Let me try to fix what I just said. It's not that it's a bad thing. It just feels.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Like I'm taking crazy pills.
The people at Cartoon Network are like, "What do you mean? There's no more episodes of Clarence? We need to fill the time slot with something." Did the Crewniverse finish their episodes? Well, yes. Just release them all.
I honestly don't know. I obviously don't know how to run a television network, especially a cartoon one in this day and age. But I don't know what their end goal is here. Like, cause I mean, I don't fucking know. Like, I just don't get why we can't have like a weekly kind of episodic format, and that like kids, more than anything, are on like a pretty scheduled basis. And that like I remember when I was a kid and there was like a new show coming out, like Avatar. Like I would wait until an Avatar episode came out every week. Like I knew what time I needed to be on, like be awake. I knew what time I needed to be done with my homework to go watch the new episode. But it feels like with Steven Universe, like their primary demographic is still children, right? Like that's not to speak of the show's quality. Obviously, it's an amazing show, but the target demographic they're trying to hit is assumably like children, right? Shouldn't they be trying to have a more regular scheduled kind of, plan? I don't understand.
The only thing that I can like think of like at the top of my head is like, hey, kids are out for the summer and they didn't plan it.
I guess. No, sure, you could go the whole summer angle, but it also feels like they're trying to sort of dip into Netflix's pie in that like they're like, hey, you fucking nerds who like this shit, like you like Netflix, you like Steven Universe, here's all of it, all at the fucking once. Go, here, just go watch it.
Go to Kiss Cartoon and just watch it.
Well, more like go to our streaming website and type in your cable account and go fucking watch it. But if they were gonna do that, they should just done the whole hog and put it all out all at once. But hey, whatever. That's not here nor there. Like just. What the hell, man? It just reminds me of Korra's last 2 seasons of the way they handled that. You know what I mean?
So you don't think that Steven Universe is not doing well, do you?
No, I think it's. I mean, I don't know. I've heard that it's doing very well. It's targeting a wider demographic than most other Cartoon Network shows, from what I understand. But in more of terms of like when Korra, like what happened with Korra, in that like. After season 2 or after season 1, I should say, there was a really long kind of break where like, okay, we know there's more seasons coming out, but when's that gonna happen?
The year break.
Yeah, like more than a year break. Dude, it was like a year and a half. It felt like, I don't know, but and then after that, they're like, okay, season 3 is out in 6 months, and we're like, okay, and then halfway through season 3, they're like, all right, it's online only now. Just watch it all. All right, it's all online now. Just watch it. And like, okay, all right, cool. Like that was fun. All right, Nickelodeon. Like when season 4 coming out, they're like, it'll come out like sometime. And like 2 months later, like, guys, season 4, it's all here. It's all here. It's all just fuck it. Just watch it. It's fine. It's fine.
Jesus, Tap Dancing Chris.
Oh my God, it was an emotional roller coaster to be sure. And that's what I'm feeling again with Steven Universe. And that's why I don't want to say I'm worried for the show or anything, but I just don't understand why Cartoon Network is doing this,
The Steven Nuke.
Yeah, like we had a Steven bomb, we had a Steven carpet bomb, and now it's just a fucking nuke, like just a whole fucking nuke. Like let's just drop
a mushroom cloud in the shape of Steven's head.
Let's just drop a whole payload of Stevens, like jeez, man. We got nothing left after this. Like that's the thing. Like how many more like we've been hearing all this time that. Like, we have, like, season 3 has been in production for quite some time. So we have plenty of episodes in reserves, Like, Cartoon Network is the one that's been, like, trickling them out at a slow pace. But how many more episodes do they have after this? Like, how many
what's
more
killing me inside, dude? You know what's killing me inside? I just realized. How the fuck are we going to Velvet talk that?
We're just going to have to take it, like, week by week, I guess, dude.
God,
like,
we're gonna need to get our shit to. I'm gonna need to get all
Oh
these
my
papers
God.
and Chinese food off the desk, and just
to file my paperwork, get my life in order.
I just feel like it's that horrible realization that, oh my God, we have to like actually get our shit together because that's a big thing for us. So
Oh yeah.
oh my God, I
Can't be a week behind on this shit anymore.
You know what's gonna really suck though, because I just also had this realization: when this is over, how long do you think it's gonna be before we get the next bit? Like,
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, how many more episodes are in production, right? Like, that was always my comfort. And like, all right, between January's episodes and like this last Steven Bomb, my comfort was always like, all right, there's plenty more episodes in the works. Like, they've done some animation, they've done plenty of voice work. Like, they have content ready for us. That's just a matter of when Cartoon Network's gonna let it out. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm super fucking pumped for all these episodes. Like, I'm so pumped. But I don't know what's gonna happen.
I feel like the phrase "not like this" like really just
yeah.
That's exactly what look at our stupid icons on Skype. You're Pearl and I'm Lapis. Like we're clearly in the fandom. We are ready for this. It's just it's almost like be careful what you wish for, but I don't feel like anyone wished for this.
Yeah, because I was having a good time with the weekly episodes. Like I said before, I think I mentioned it before, I really like the weekly episodes. More because that's normal. It's like, it's a nice content drip. That could have lasted you, like, I don't know, I don't want to do the math in my head, but that could last you way more, like, months, like, almost a year, maybe. And now it's just going to be all done within a month, Like, I just don't get it. I don't get what they're trying to do.
If it makes you feel like any better, pretty much that's the same reaction that the Tumblr fandom is having like right now. Like
I don't know. Again, I don't have my ear to the ground with the fan base as much as I do with other things, but I just feel
like
confused.
I can honestly like as representative of the Tumblr fan base.
You're my Tumblr liaison, please.
I can honestly tell you from all the people that I've been following and stuff, like the fandom is pretty much in the same boat. We're all trying to figure out more. Well, the good news was that the Tumblr fandom went very like, from what I could tell, was like very much like, listen, do not blame the crew for this. Do not blame Rebecca Sugar and their staff for
They've
this.
They've just been they're just trying to make a goddamn show. It just feels like the fucking network is like running them, letting them on a wild goose chase almost. Like, we'll put out episodes, all at once. Here we go.
Time to activate my ultimate. God, maybe Cartoon Network's trying to get play of the game here.
That's pretty much where they're at, yeah. They're just trying to make
it's Roadhog, and he's putting all the episodes in his shotgun. And just starts cranking the episodes.
Like, with his ult, just... and then, and then it's awesome for a second, and then you realize that we're all pushed off the cliff, and we die.
Yeah, we didn't even die in the cool way of just getting a shot. We died in, like, the way that was like, wait, we still had health. God damn it.
Oh my God.
It all went back to Overwatch.
I don't think the show's in jeopardy or anything like that. Like, I haven't heard anything. I don't get the impression that it's doing poorly in terms of ratings, but it's just really confusing from an outsider's perspective as to why a television network would do this kind of thing, with this really weird, sporadic, episodic, like, episode schedule. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It is actually kind of... No, it makes 100... I mean, I'm not... it doesn't make sense, but you're saying it's absolutely right. Like, I think that's kind of the big issue here is they're not really explaining themselves, so it's kind of hard to understand. But at the same time, I bet the mentality for Cartoon Network is, why should we have to explain ourselves? So
yeah, no, absolutely. Like, they're just trying to get as many views as possible, and there are people that are professionals that know more about getting people to watch TV shows than I do. If maybe they did a focus group and they decided do it in a month.
If you guys are professionals, let us know in the comments down below what you think.
If you guys work for Cartoon Network, let us know in the comments.
CEO of Cartoon Network, if you're listening, no. So I think that's pretty much all we can say about it, though. Just to keep, because essentially we're just starting to repeat ourselves at this point.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of come back to that at the end. It'll be kind of fun to go back to it. I mean,
from the fan in me, I'm totally fucking pumped. I'm fucking ready for this shit. Oh my god. It was the
more Lapis. I'm excited for the Lapis.
More fucking Pearl, dude. More Greg. There's a lot of I'm looking at the Greg. I'm sorry. Wow. I'm looking at the episode list right now, and I'm seeing a lot of Greg in there. All right, I'm down with that. Now. Yeah.
God. So God, keep that on the back burner. We'll come back to that. So
we'll figure out our shit.
I just spoiled what the next topic was.
What's up?
So. I'm not sure if you've seen this around. On Tumblr, it's kind of a big thing not big thing, but a lot of people that essentially are talking about it. I didn't watch the video, but apparently this is a thing. Matt Pat and the people at Game Theory apparently gave the Pope Undertale to play.
Oh, yeah?
So apparently, and the only reason why this is on our docket, on our list of things to talk about, is mainly because the way that people are reacting to this, I think, is probably really interesting. A lot of people, especially on Tumblr, which Tumblr, as anyone who's, because our videos go up on Tumblr, as anyone who's a part of Tumblr, it knows Tumblr is very based on fandoms and fan-based things. And one of the things that a lot of people are just like, you know who wasn't this bad? The Homestucks. Homestucks wouldn't go this far, Undertale fandom. And I cannot believe like how it's like, are you guys trying to like make yourselves not seem as intense? Because
I mean,
it's not something we could talk in depth about. I just thought it was funny because
I'm like the last person to talk to about Tumblr drama, but.
Dude, it's totally fine.
I just
thought it was funny to bring up, yo.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. I find it interesting that Matt Pat would, like, decide on that game to bring to the Pope. That's such a fucking weird sentence.
I was
like,
about
oh my
to say,
god.
how do you feel about saying that sentence?
But it does raise a question about, like, where kind of Undertale fits in terms of morality. Like, obviously, Matt Pat, and myself included, like, I also find that, like, there's something to be said about the way Undertale presents its story. And full disclosure, I've only played Undertale through one time, and that's the neutral ending. But that ending, this is, I guess, we're going to go into spoiler territory, I guess, with the way I go into this, but for the spoilers for the neutral ending, in that it kind of presents it's kind of a deconstruction on video games as a medium, in that you know, like you have that's where it's revealed, obviously, that your LV, your level, is actually like your LV, your love is actually means level of violence, and that, like, dude, you just fucking brutally murdered these people just to gain experience, just to become stronger. Like, that's pretty fucked up. Like, you know, like Sans will just fucking tell you, like, dude, like, that's pretty messed up. But yeah, whatever, dude, you know. And that kind of turned, like, you know, it kind of raises a lot of questions to the player, being like, how complicit are you in this kind of game where you're willing to murder a bunch of people just for the sake of getting stronger to get to the end of the game, just to get to the best place where you can possibly be. So, honestly, like, it sounds dumb, but I'm interested to see, A, if the Pope bothers playing it, B, how he feels about it, you know?
See, here's what it ultimately boils down to. It's weird because, you know what we should have done is we should have opened up Rabbit and watched the video before we did this, because obviously,
sure.
By God, we are immediately discredited because we didn't even watch the video. But I personally think that at least from how I'm getting the information from Tumblr, I think people are trying to make a meme out of it, essentially, and they're like, send the Pope Metal Gear Solid 2. Send him the 2.
It's all a simulation. You gotta understand.
Send the Pope more games. Like,
Oh my god.
That's how they're interpreting it. I think, and I let me put it this way: a lot of people are pushing the idea of like, apparently, once again, we really should have just watched the video before we did this. Apparently, like, some of the points that are being made about Undertale, where it's like all those like ideas were also just an MGS2. So,
Yes and no. It goes by
we are
differently,
not
but
sorry.
yeah, okay.
We are not getting into a full-paced debate on whether or not.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. I came here for the MGS2 podcast. I was ready to talk in depth about a game I never played.
Wait, though. Like, I'm not arguing the point. I'm just like, it's just a statement. It's okay.
Sure.
Like,
no, I know. But both of these games, MGS2 and Undertale, are both works of art, and I'm really passionate about talking about games as art. So I always jump at the chance. But
I love how this is your outlet, isn't it? This is how.
Dude, you don't even know. Oh yeah.
God damn it. Anyways, so ultimately, what it boils down to is the Pope plays is what I wrote down on the docket. And if you guys haven't checked out that video, and like us, and haven't checked out that video, go ahead and check that out, because something tells me it's probably something interesting. Game Theory always releases something kind of cool, whether it or not that is. I'm gonna say like doesn't bend the space and time of the internet, because by God, that is never something I thought I would hear in my lifetime.
It's good. It's real cool, honestly.
You know what? Next episode, we should probably come back to this after watching it and just kind of discuss it real quick. But anyways, the final one I've got on here is on the docket is Pokemon Go.
Oh.
And how I forgot this was coming out.
I mean, I literally just downloaded it as I was getting home from work today. I haven't turned it on yet. But I think the reason it sounds wrong, but it's not meant for us, if that makes sense.
No,
right?
It does. It totally makes sense.
Because
I totally understand that this thing is not meant for either of us.
Right, because we're already playing Pokemon, right? Like, I'm already pretty interested in Sun and Moon, and I assume you are too.
Oh,
right?
Dude, we did a Velvet. Like, we are so into it.
Yeah. This, I mean, and if you watch the original commercial for it, it was played. I guess the context is important. Is that it was played at the Super Bowl, right? Last year's Super Bowl. And I remember a lot of friends like would text me being like, "Oh, like did you see that Pokemon commercial?" And I'm like, "What? Like football? I don't watch that." but they're like, "Yeah, like there's this Pokemon commercial." And so I watched it on YouTube, and it was like, "Oh, this is really different," in that it was clearly meant to try to get like fallen Pokemon fans of sorts, like people who are around our age, who were really young when the first Pokemon games came out, and they're like, "Hey, remember this game? There's this mobile game now. Come back to it and try it out." That's the kind of message I got from those commercials, right?
Yeah, dude, I cannot express enough how like those commercials were very much like trying to pull at the heartstrings of people who are, or as I hate saying it nowadays, Gen 1ers. Because if you notice, all the Pokemon that used in that advertisement were fucking Generation
Only
1 Pokemon.
Gen 1.
And I bet you anything, that that's a thing. Now, I know that we sound like salty, shitty old people, but
it's not that, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We also sound like that, so it's okay to admit that. I personally I think it's a great idea. I think that, honestly, this was probably... Because, I'm not going to lie. Like, it's something that sounds really cool. And honestly, if I was living in a city or something or walking in places, I could be like, you know what? I'm going to download this. I'm going to... And I bet you did that, didn't you?
I did. I haven't turned it on yet, though. I will let you know how it goes. But, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see how they handle it. Honestly, though, dude, it does not sound like a replacement for Pokemon. I don't think it was ever meant to be a replacement for Pokemon.
Do you even battle, or is it just a collection thing? You know what? You know
I
what?
can't say from
Next episode,
Yeah.
you tell me how that is.
I can't speak from a voice of authority, but so far it sounds like it's only collection right now.
That does not sound like anything I want.
Yeah,
that just sounds. I mean,
I'll tell you if that changes, but it sounds like again, like it goes back to like this is supposed to be an essentially a really elaborate advertisement for the Pokemon franchise as a whole. I feel like and that's not a bad thing. It's just not a thing that's meant for us first, us Pokemon fans, right? It's supposed to be like it's supposed to convince the people being like, oh, I used to really like Pokemon, but I don't have a 3DS. Like, why the fuck would I buy $100, $50-some
I used to be
device?
really into Pokemon, but then Johto came out.
I mean, it's not even that. It's that just like people don't have Game Boys anymore. People don't have DSs anymore. They have phones. Phones can play games. They're like, so their immediate reaction, and I get this from people from like at work all the time. It's like, oh, I used to play Pokemon all the time, but like, why the fuck would I buy a device for it when I can just play something on my phone?
I can understand that actually.
Yeah. It's to a totally different market from us. So it'll be interesting to see if it succeeds in its mission in that it'll get lapsed fans into Pokemon again, and I hope it does, honestly. Because I think Niantic's a pretty good developer. I had some friends that played Ingress, which is this developer's previous game, which is also an augmented reality game, and like they were way into it. Like they fell down the rabbit hole, and they were like it was all about like finding like landmarks and like staking claim there and stuff. And it sounds like Pokemon Go is following a similar direction. I think personally, I'm living in the perfect place for it because it's a metropolitan area. And there's going to be a lot of different Pokemon around if I'm understanding the game mechanics right. So I'm going to give it a shot just because I'm curious and just because I really kind of need to know how they envision Pokemon on a phone. So I'll have more to say like next time we talk about this dude. Like,
absolutely,
that's all I really
This will be definitely a fun thing to come back to.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it.
All right, guys. Well, I think at the end of the day, I think we're essentially done with the docket. That was all I wrote down. And the big reason was because obviously we had some issues setting this up tonight in terms of like there was just a lot going on. We're missing someone who was supposed to be here because they were not having the best day, and so they wanted the day off. And I was like, yo, totally go home and rest up, yo. And if you're listening, I hope you're feeling a lot better because that sucks, dude. And you should feel better. So, guys, I hope you... God, we talked so much about Overwatch, didn't we?
This is the Overwatch episode with some extra stuff.
I hope you enjoyed the...
But that's okay. I'm okay with it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm okay with it.
I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is a different format for us.
Yeah, like, please give us feedback, honestly.
And yeah, because obviously, and I'm really hoping this works out because I would love to do more things like this so that we're not pushing stuff back.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any questions or you guys have anything at all that you've ever wanted to ask us, we're doing the next episode next week. So,
Yeah, man.
I would love to do an end segment talking about different things, like, because I feel really shitty that people have been messaging us on the Tumblr and on the Facebook. They ask, or not the Facebook, on the YouTube. They leave comments asking us, if we're gonna do stuff. And I'm a shit person, and I see it, and I'm like, I could answer that, or I could play another round of Overwatch, and I just play Overwatch instead, and I feel kind of bad about that. So if you guys have anything you've ever wanted to ask, games that you've recommended, or things you just wanted to talk about with us, we'll do a little mail section at the end of the next episode.
Oh yeah.
So how about that? So and then next episode, hopefully Gang Mudo or Strider will join us, and that'll be super great. Sora, was this good for you? Was this a fun time?
It was fun. I got to talk a lot about things I like, so I'm happy.
All right. So how about this? Next time on the Velvet Room, as far as the upload schedule goes, you guys are pretty much going to get the same episodes you guys are looking forward to. NBA 2K16 will probably end next episode. I was hoping that was going to be more successful, and it's not. It's an old game. I'm so okay with that. It was a fun time though, and probably more DMMD we're gonna try to get out by then, and yeah. So
Yeah.
all right, guys. Anyways, next time on the Velvet Room, hopefully you guys had a good time, and we will catch you next time.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.